Well, it looks like next year, Lakendra, you're going to be joining the band. You look like you'd play the drum set really well. So, well, anyway, you also did an interview earlier in the week with a woman who is making the Pasadena Marathon her 100th marathon. We'll go take a look at that just now.
That's probably going to be like something enough.
Well, we're just trying to get that video up with Barbara Wank. All
right, this is Lakendra Tooks with Crown City News. I'm here live at the Pasadena Convention Center for the Pasadena Marathon Expo, and I am here with Barb Neck. This is her 100th marathon. Tell us a little bit, Barb, about how this ended up being your 100th marathon here in Pasadena.
Well, I was registered for this marathon in February, and in December I finished running my quest to do a marathon in every state. And then I was making St. Louis, where I live, my 100th marathon, and that got shut down due to heat a few weeks ago. And Pasadena tomorrow ended up to be my 100th marathon.
Now, how long has it taken you to reach this goal of 100 marathons?
Well, I did most of them since 2000. I did 18 different states last year. I belong to the Marathon Maniacs and the 50 States Club.
Now, how does one prepare for a marathon, and how do you keep yourself going to get to 100?
Well, I'm a physical education and health teacher for kindergarten through 6th grade, so I'm always pretty active. But I run 3 days a week for 2 hours each, and I weight train on the other days.
And what type of diet do you have to keep up with? I know you're not eating at McDonald's.
I eat real healthy. I eat mostly carbohydrates and low-fat diet.
All right. So wait, you mean to tell me that it's hotter in St. Louis than it is here?
Sometimes, especially in the summer, and very humid.
Okay, so now that tomorrow you're going to reach that goal of 100 marathons, what are you going to do to celebrate?
Well, I have a plane to catch right after the marathon because I have to be back at work Monday to teach kids all day.
Your kids are going to be so proud of you.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they really are.
And I also wanted to ask you, so what's your next big goal? You've reached 100 marathons. What else can you achieve?
I have another marathon in 2 weeks. Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. I've got my year planned out already.
So tell us about some of the destinations you're going to be heading to this year.
Idaho is in 2 weeks. Then in a week after that, I'm doing Minneapolis, and then there's Missoula in July, and then and then in September there's the Marathon Maniacs reunion in Appleton, Wisconsin, and there's a few more after that.
Lord.
Sacramento, I'm doing CIM.
Well, Barb, somewhere in between all those marathons, I hope you find time to maybe go get a massage, maybe take a vacation.
I do. I rest too.
Well, you get your summers off, so that's not so bad.
I teach somewhere else during the summer for a space camp program.
This woman does not stop. All right, thank you so much for talking to us, Barb. Back to you in the studio.
Well, that is just amazing. There are so many runners out there who are just, taking it to the max. What about you, Naomi? Any marathon plans in your future?
Nope.
You can cross meteorology off your bucket list?
No, I'd rather stick with meteorology.
We like hearing that.
What about you?
I don't know. I'm thinking, I used to go jogging all the time. I lived in Hollywood for 11 years. So I lived right by Runyon Canyon, and that was a great, great walk. But there are so many great hills and mountains in the Pasadena area and so many trails. So I think I'm going to start spending more day trips coming here because I really just want to be part of nature here and enjoy what they have to have here. You're laughing at me, don't you? Because I'm making stuff up off the top of my head.
No, but that's
It's
the great
true.
thing about LA. So many people, I'm from the Midwest, and, they only think about Hollywood and the glitz and the glamour. But the fact is, most of us are here, besides today, usually it's bright and sunny, beautiful, mild, moderate temperatures. And then there's so much scenery. There's, so many hills, mountains, so many hiking trails to go on, parks, all of that people kind of miss sometimes.
Yeah, and I think that's why the Pasadena Marathon is so special, is because you get to see all those beautiful things. The buildings that have been here for 100 years and have been restored to their original architecture. The mountains that are just nearby. It's a stunning place to do a marathon.
Absolutely, and there's so many icons here, starting with the Rose Bowl. There's so many different people who make use of that. Anytime you go to the Rose Bowl in the evenings, you have so many groups, just walking the loops and running, biking, all of that. You have the dogs going, and that's fun to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's great to be a part of that kind of community. It looks like we are seeing that. We're seeing some walkers and runners going by live at. It looks like that is very near PCC, so I believe that might be the finish line.
Oh wow, are people starting to finish up the race?
So people are finishing. I'm wondering if that might be the 10K, if they're finishing that up. Still might be a
I wonder
little.
if there's anybody barefoot out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I saw somebody barefoot last time.
And at the PCC start, it looks like CCN's Lakendra Tooks is at PCC with one of the runners. So we're going to go live out there to the field. And Lakendra, do you have a runner for us, or no? We're going to keep we're going to keep talking here because
That's been the story of the morning, because while we don't have the millions and millions of dollars to set up live television feeds, we're doing this on a very shoestring budget with our own technology and equipment. And I can tell you, from over the last 2 years, the fact that the pictures look as clear as they do from out in the field without having to have such a huge investment really speaks to our ability to be able to tell the story of the Pasadena Marathon.
Absolutely, and a majority of the feeds, there hasn't been delays. You can see what's going on, and Pasadena doesn't have another network like this. Putting these kinds of visual stories out there, talking to the people, talking to the bands who are playing at the concert, talking to the runners or just the supporters, the volunteers, the people handing out water. You don't think about all of the people that are involved in putting on a marathon, just like you don't often think about all of the people involved in putting on this marathon show.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't see them right now, but there is a whole crew of people here at CCN who are making this happen. We have camera operators, we have people in our control room back there. Grant Darian, he's our teen techie during the week, gives us our updates, but there he is. There's our control room, and that's there's a lot going on out there.
That's where they say, wrap up Anthony, he's talking too much. Get him back on task. He's not talking about the weather. Make him talk about the weather.
We have someone who is doing the sound, making sure our sound sounds great. We have someone, making sure that our words are up there for me, because it's hard when the teleprompter's not working, so I really appreciate that. But so we have so many people making this
like
live
Natalie
marathon coverage.
Is
Absolutely.
Natalie out there?
So let's go out to Natalie. Natalie, we haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on at PCC?
Natalie, are you there?
Hi, Sunita. I'm here with a couple of our racers from the bike tour. Would you guys mind introducing yourselves?
Hi, my name is Danny, Danny Gloria.
And you are?
Bob Mendoza.
And I hear you two met a couple years ago here at the Pasadena Marathon?
Was it last year, Bob?
Yeah, it was last year.
It was last year.
We talked about where I was going to run the Paris Marathon. Yeah.
Can you kind of explain to us how the bike tour went with all with the rain and we heard the roads were going to be kind of slick?
It's not fun. In fact, there was I think within the first mile, there was somebody fell, slid going around a curve. So it's treacherous. Plus the fact that you have a lot of people that haven't ridden before. So you have to.
There are a lot of new participants.
Yeah, so you have to watch them. They go in front of you.
And this was the biggest bike tour Pasadena has seen. How are people on the roads kind of dealing with injuries that came about during the race?
Well, you know what? I said, Bob, I saw the same wreck that Bob saw. But, for myself, I don't mind too much the rain, because tomorrow I'm going to be bragging to everybody that I was on that thing riding in the rain. So I don't mind too much. But
it seems like regardless of rain or shine, everybody just wanted to be here to do the race.
I think we're getting used to it because this is the second year already. So we're kind of getting used to it, aren't we?
I don't know if you ever get used to riding in the rain, because right now I'm freezing.
So that coffee's not helping.
Not really. But I've got to hand it to the people that are running, especially the marathon. That's long ways, let me tell you. I know.
Well, congratulations to the two of you for finishing your bike tour. Sunita, we're going to send that back to you in the studio.
Well, we had tried this a little bit earlier, and I'm really excited to see those Kaiser medical tents. So we hope there won't be any runners who need to make use of those services. But with a title sponsor like Kaiser, you know you're going to get great medical care if anything happens during the race. Kaiser has 5 state-of-the-art military-type tents, the kind you saw on the TV show MASH, that include power, lighting, heating for all medical situations. These tents are used as training grounds for disaster relief efforts as well. CCN's Nikki Ibarra talked to Kaiser's Regional Director of Event Medicine, Dr. Thad Woodward, to find out more.
Kaiser Permanente Southern California headquarters in Pasadena, and we're here with Dr. Thad Woodward. Thank you for joining us today.
You're most welcome.
Now, can you talk about your role and why you got involved with the Pasadena Marathon?
I've been involved with the Pasadena Marathon since its inception. I'm the Regional Director of Event Medicine for Kaiser. I manage all the medical coverage for our sporting events. And so when we decided to go with the marathon, they contacted me to help set up the medical coverage.
Now, as far as volunteers, what will entail on Sunday? How many people will be coming out to make sure that everyone running will be safe and able to complete the marathon?
There's quite a number of volunteers out there. From the medical team, we have 50 to 60 currently. We usually set up a main medical tent at the finish line, and we usually run a few sub-tents along the course. We usually try to identify areas we might see some concerns, or either the road conditions or the course where we think an athlete might have trouble. We try to position our teams there.
Now, what areas, like you say, certain terrain, maybe some rain, there is rain expected to occur on Sunday. Now, how are you going to prepare for that situation?
Well, the Pasadena Marathon has always been an entertaining event for us. There's always rain, or if you recall the first event, we had the fires with the smoke, and so it's always a good challenge for us. It's fun for us. But on this course, mainly, I'd say back by the stadium, there's some changes in terrain and things of that nature. So far, we've been very fortunate. Our injury rate has been low. So we look forward to see about the same this year.
Now, what are the most common, injuries that contests or participants in the marathon do tend to, experience while they're running?
Well, there's 2 types of injuries that we look at. There's the common ones that we're not, mainly abrasions, sprains, falling down, getting road rash and things of that nature, blisters, of course, and friction burns and whatnot. We worry about our more serious ones would be more hypothermia, hyperthermia, chest pain, shortness of breath, and those types. Unfortunately, those are much less common.
Now, you'll be setting up a couple tents along the marathon pathway. Can you talk more about that and what kind of equipment you'll be bringing out?
Our role on the course itself is we set up usually 10 by 10 tent with either 2 to 3 physicians and a nurse. And you're mainly doing your minor care at that location. If someone falls down, they just want someone to take a look at, hey, am I okay to continue the race? If we have anything more serious, say chest pain or shortness of breath, we immediately activate EMS and get the fire department there with their paramedics.
Now, what will the physicians be doing? You went into a little bit of depth, but can you go into more depth about what the physicians will be doing during the marathon, and what will they be looking out for?
Well, like I mentioned before, mainly we're going to be doing assessment of the athletes as they come in. What kind of injury do you have? And again, most of it is going to be musculoskeletal and just an assessment and then minor treatment. Of course, we don't have fracture management here. We will stabilize and transport, but mainly we're going to be doing light injury care.
Now, do you expect to have any severe cases? Hopefully, these people they've been preparing for a while now. They're not just, randomly going to go onto the marathon and just partake in this event. So these people will be knowing what, they should be looking out for themselves, correct?
This is true, although with marathon events, you do have people that are beginners that do sometimes bite off more than they can chew, and that's why we're here. Of course, we look for all the risk factors of patients coming in here. We have highly trained physicians out there. We do have the equipment for life-saving techniques, so that's what we're here to do, as a safety net to the athletes.
Now, can you give any advice that you'd like to give to people who are first-time marathon runners?
That's a big question. There's a lot of things that first-time runners get into trouble with, and one of the biggest things I say is you should get involved with a running group, or if you have a friend who's experienced marathon runner, start training with them. Get some of the basic errors that we see coming into our sport clinics, and you can learn that from an experienced runner. The clubs are very good about taking a beginner and kind of nursing them through those errors and preventing them before they ever happen. Usually training equipment errors, too much too fast, going beyond what your abilities are, not hydrating properly, and nutritional issues, sleep, all sorts of things. Hydration during the event is critical. And all these things are things that are pretty basic to an experienced runner. So again, getting with a club or getting with someone who's good at this and has some experience is an excellent idea to do.
Now, crunch time is near for these runners. You know, a couple days till the marathon. I'm pretty sure Saturday will be a little tense night for them. So what can they do to prepare a night before the marathon? What can they do to prepare that they're, you know, ready to take on this thing?
Good question. I think every athlete has their own little system that they found that works for them as far as relaxation and getting prepared. I think, you know, looking for it as an enjoyable event. You know, if you're having problems with the event, you can always stop and walk it. It's just try to enjoy it. So going up to the event, there's things like, again, we can go as deep as you want. Hydration issues prior to events, you should be drinking well up to the day of the event. The morning event, eating light. A lot of people like to do carbohydrate loading and various nutritional systems that they found work for them. But in general, just relax and enjoy it and try not to get too stressed. You need your sleep before the event.
Now, can you give us little points about where Kaiser physicians can be located? You know, if someone is along the marathon path, where can they be located where we have tents set up?
Yeah, well, we're going to be clearly marked. We have tents that are marked Kaiser. They're clearly marked on the tents. We have usually medical banners that are white with red letters say medical on them. And all the event personnel do know where we're going to be, so if there's any issue, you can ask someone with a radio, anyone that has an event badge on, you can ask them, they'll know.
So Kaiser will be well represented along the marathon path.
Yes, we will. And we're also very integrated with local fire and PD, so they all know where we are too as well, so any police officer should know. And if they don't, then get on the radio and find out.
Great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, and we'll definitely see you on the...
Well, we have lots going on at PCC where the finish line is. Lots of the races coming in with the bikers coming in and runners. In fact, CCN's Lakendra Tooks is with one of the runners at PCC. Lakendra?
Thank you, Sunita. I am here with Al, who just finished up the Pasadena Marathon, and about 3 weeks ago, he actually did the Boston Marathon. How do you do it, Al?
I don't know. It's just discipline and wanting to stay in shape.
Now, what made you you went all the way to Boston. What made you want to come here to Pasadena today?
Well, I live in Long Beach, so I actually went all the way to Boston to run 26 miles and then came here for a half marathon.
Wow. That is some endurance. Now, was it raining in Boston, or was the weather better in Boston or here in Pasadena?
You know, actually the days before it was real rainy and windy, and on the day of the race it was just like perfect weather, so we lucked out.
Yeah, you really did. And then you came here and...
Right. This is the first time I've run in the rain, and it was something different. It's actually cold when you're done, but it's different.
Cool. And this is actually your girlfriend, Missy, who kind of ran a little vocal marathon. She actually sang the national anthem today. Now, so how did you sing in the rain?
Actually, I was freezing. I was really cold. I was like shivering, and I didn't think I'd make it through, but I did. I did it for everybody here, everybody across the United States, and all the military abroad. So I just kept that in mind. So
absolutely, that's a good thing to keep in mind. I mean, Gene Kelly makes it like singing in the rain is easy, but
right. It's not when it's cold. If it's hot, it's fine, but when it's cold, it's tough. So.
Especially the national anthem. You got to make sure you don't forget those lyrics.
Right. Exactly.
Otherwise, you are going to be a YouTube sensation and not in a good way.
I know, but if I'm going to get famous that way, well, maybe it's okay.
Hey, it worked for the Kardashians.
Right?
Why not?
There you go.
All right. Thanks so much. Back to you in the studio, Sunita.
Well, Girls on the Run Los Angeles has over 600 girls running in the marathon. One Empower girl, Melina Logan, asked to be interviewed so she could share her enthusiasm for the organization with CCN's Natalie Tavidian.
Hi, I'm here at Victory Park with Melina Logan from Girls on the Run Los Angeles. Melina just had her last practice before her 5K. Melina, how was practice today?
Practice was actually pretty fun today.
What did you do?
Well, first we did our warm-ups, then we did this game, and we had to think of something nice about the person who was sitting on this chair, and we had to run up to the person and tell them something that we think about them.
Did you learn anything from the game?
Yes.
So is this something you guys do at practice all the time?
We do.
And different activities?
Yes.
So how has that helped you with your running?
Well, it can help us because when we do those types of games, we could get faster. And sometimes if we feel really sad, we can think about the things that people said about us.
Do you know how fast you can run a mile?
I'm not really sure.
Do you think that one day you might want to do the full marathon?
Yes.
What about something else, like a triathlon, or go from there?
I might just start with marathon.
Is this your first 5K?
Yes.
Are you excited for it?
Yes, I very am.
Tell us a little bit about how practicing for it has been.
Well, when we practice for it, they give us a route. Sometimes we'll go around our regular route 15 times, or we'll go around the park 6 or once. So, yeah.
And who are you running with?
I'm running with my mom.
Is she excited to run?
A little.
Have you been practicing with her?
Yes.
Where do you guys practice?
We practice at the Rose Bowl.
And how has that been?
It's been good.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how Girls on the Run LA has... Melina, tell me a little bit about how Girls on the Run has helped you with self-esteem, with school, with public speaking, anything it's helped you with.
Well, Girls on the Run helps me understand that I'm good enough, actually. Just because people say things about me doesn't mean I'm bad or anything like that. It helps me be stronger about myself, and yeah.
What other lessons has being part of this team taught you?
It has taught me to be strong and stand up for myself.
And have you used any of the lessons yet?
Yes.
Tell us a little story about something that has happened.
At school, when people say mean things about me, I'll go like, oh, they're only trying to say it just to make me upset. They're just doing it to make me upset. Or when someone's a bully, they just do it because something might be wrong at home, or they just might not like you for some reason.
And you've learned to stand up and not take those comments seriously, right?
Yes.
All right, tell me a little bit about how you're looking, if you are looking forward to the Pasadena route.
I'm looking forward to it being kind of big, kind of small, but I think I'll be ready for the race.
Are you excited to see all the people cheering you on?
Yes.
So besides your mom running with you, who's going to be in the crowd to watch?
My dad and my sister and some other people in my family.
Are they excited to see you run?
Yes.
What do they say about you when you go running? How do they feel about you running?
I think that they feel strong about me running, empowered. Yeah.
Okay, Melina, well, thank you for speaking with us today, and we wish you the best of luck as you do your first 5K. Girls on the Run Los Angeles is going to have about 600 runners running today. We're going to send that back to you in the studio.
Well, that's just an amazing organization. It's just things like that, nonprofits that are thinking outside of the box, using 5Ks to help girls get empowered.
I love that story. That is you know, there's so many people in the United States, especially parents with their young children saying, you know, telling them, oh, you need to be good, you need to have self-esteem, you're great, you're fantastic, but they're not teaching them how to be fantastic. So a group comes in here like this and it teaches them how to set up goals and work towards those goals so that they actually have self-esteem based on their actions and behaviors. That I love that story. Whoops, I think I spit on you, but
okay.
I love that story. It really shows people what it takes to develop a strong sense of self.
And as individuals, and then also as a bigger group, you know.
Members of a community.
Girls on the Run LA, they have the Pasadena chapter, so I had gone with Natalie to, you know, see the Pasadena chapters. That was a small group of just 7 girls, but they have this organization all through LA, and they come together to be 600 strong, and that's amazing. And there's so many groups like that running this marathon. Such a special thing. Another group that you've heard about often in this marathon, the Pasadena Pacers. They're a local running group with a big presence in today's marathon. And CCN, we talked with Nikki Ibarra, spoke with Pasadena Pacers coach Hilda, and we have more of that coming up Coach Hilda was actually in studio last year, but this year she's running, so that's why we had to get a tape of her. But the Pasadena Pacers, they really encourage all of the athletes. If you're thinking about running a marathon, come on out, join the Pacers, and they'll help you get through it. But we are looking at some live shots before we go to Coach Hilda.
I've been with the Pacers for 10 years.
And you're the coach.
Yes, I become the marathon coach.
So how long have you been a coach for this team?
About 3 years ago, I decided to, they were looking for somebody to coach them, and I thought, how hard can it be? So I become the coach.
Now you lead this team, running weekly. Now what other things go behind being a coach of a team like this?
It's really fun because every Saturday or Sunday I compose an email and I send it through Yahoo groups, and I practically send what they do during the week and some tips about how to hydrate, nutrition, and some injuries. And so pretty much, just tell them what to do during the week and have a long run on Saturdays.
Now, how many times have you completed the Pasadena Marathon with the Pacers?
This would be my second time, I think, since the third time. I really get confused a lot of times because I've been running so many marathons, but I believe it's the third time.
Now, you look like a very fit woman, very inspiring. Now, what goes into a day of training with the Pacers?
They practically train twice a week and come around the Rose Bowl. Depends what they allow for the week. It will be between 6 miles to 40 miles during the week, plus the long run. Depends, start with 3 miles long run and end up to 22 miles before a month before the actual marathon.
Now, so this is a couple times a week you practice as a team?
Yes.
Now, what goes, I'm pretty sure you have to do more than just, run once a week. What goes into, throughout the week, what should someone in the Pacer program, what should they do?
Oh, for example, Tuesday and Thursday, they run 4 and 6 miles. And then Monday, and Wednesday, they do cross training, cycling, swimming, or walk, or do some speed work. In the track, or they just cycling. So that's what they do.
So it goes beyond just running and making sure that you're keeping with the running and eating well. But what else goes into successfully being a runner?
Well, if you do your first of all, you want to run, right. Because anybody can say, oh, you can run, and they say yes, it's easy. But if you're not really, if you're deep in your heart, it's really hard because we have a 26-week program for training for a marathon, and we start from 3 miles up to 22, and it's 6 months of the training, and it's really hard. So motivation, we are a really fun club. We don't charge money, and then everybody can come and join the Pacers, and then just be prepared to do your work. You run 3 miles today, tomorrow you cross training, and next day you run 6 miles and then another cross training, and then make sure you eat properly, have your vitamins and your water, so it's important. But I think most of it is that you want to do that, and then between all of us, support you, and you will run anybody can do it.
So anyone can join the Pacers?
Anyone.
And it's a free program?
Yes, exactly.
Now, is there an age limit? Are there, junior Pacers?
No. We have a girl who is 16, and then she runs. She wants to run a full marathon one day, but now she's training for half marathon. And then we have people from let's say 16 to probably 75, 80 years old. Anybody can come and join.
Now, how can someone get more information on joining the Pacers?
They can go to pasadenapacers.org. And then from there, we have a listing what they can do over there, to the website, and then they can just click it and the 10 miles challenge, or they can go preconditioning or marathon, half marathon. So we have different coaches, and so they can just lead to that area. So
Now, any advice for people who are completing their first marathon and who aren't really familiar with the whole marathon world and what they can do to prepare for Sunday's marathon?
For Sunday, make sure time is very different these days. So make sure even it's cloudy, drink plenty of water, take your vitamins, rest, try avoid alcohol, and then don't drink too much coffee. Even sometimes they say it's good, but for experience, I guess. And then rest, get plenty of rest, and then just be prepared. That's how you prepare and be happy, and then just is your goal. Doesn't matter. It will be 5 hours, it will be 7 hours or 3 hours. It's your goal, it's your marathon. Enjoy it and just have fun.
Now, what has been your best time?
4:23.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my
now, is that
marathon.
average or is that above average?
No, well, no. People running the first marathon usually do 5 hours and a half, sometimes 6 hours. But it's my number 23rd, so it would be more,
Right.
running make a little bit more faster.
Right. Well, thank you, Coach Hilda. And for more information on the Pacers, you can visit PasadenaPacers.org. Now back to you in the studio.
Well, that's it for this year's special CCN coverage of the Kaiser Permanente Pasadena Marathon. So many people helped make this coverage possible. Special thanks go to everyone who interviewed with us. We also want to thank our sponsors, including not my hubby, but Chevelle Devine, who made this happen, Time River Productions, Kevin Bruckner, Siren Arts Productions, Daniel Henry, and Davide Coglioni.